Sometimes the most meaningful stories begin with something quietly waiting. This dining table carried more than plates and glasses. It carried years of shared time. The wood reflected years of ordinary mornings and quiet evenings. It settled naturally into its place, ready for another day's gathering. Each steady placement became part of the household's quiet rhythm. Every meal began with familiar objects and thoughtful arrangement. Small details showed their age, while familiar hands remembered every habit. Meals were often shared, with each gathering offering something to observe and remember. After each meal, the table was tended with steady care. It was cleaned immediately, a simple habit repeated over many years. When the work was finished, everything returned to its familiar arrangement. The surface quietly reflected years of shared meals and daily routines. Preparing for a meal began with the same familiar gestures. Warm meals filled the space with familiar comfort. Through everyday meals and special occasions, the table remained a quiet part of the home. The household moved at an unhurried pace, shaped by familiar routines. Simple things were arranged with the same steady care each day. Years changed the hands, but their careful touch remained the same. The grain reflected years of dependable presence and quiet maintenance. Each mark in the wood became part of its long history. When the gathering was finished, the room settled into a comfortable stillness. Outside, the seasons continued to change. Inside, familiar routines remained. Meals brought people together, one conversation at a time. Well-used recipes continued to find their place at the table. Fresh ingredients marked the changing seasons with familiar flavors. Morning preparation often began in quiet, familiar ways. Years of experience brought ease to every movement. From time to time, small adjustments were made with patience and care. Well-used household tools worked together through every season. As the meals slowly came together, the room filled with quiet warmth. Its work was completed carefully, without hurry or waste. Over time, the table became a place where knowledge was shared naturally. The lessons came through patience, attention, and time spent together. Careful movements were passed along through steady guidance. Each movement reflected respect for the space and the process. Some habits are learned best through time spent gathering together. The notes stayed familiar, even as the voices around them changed. Years passed gently, marked by ordinary meals and shared moments. It was valued not only for its age, but for the memories connected to it. Together, they had been part of countless days and quiet traditions. The kitchen continued to provide what was needed for another meal. Each season brought familiar foods back to the table. The table welcomed every generation that gathered there. Conversations and quiet moments became part of the meal. New hands continued learning from pages marked by years of use. The paper showed the passage of time, while the habits continued to be remembered. Family meals were prepared with the same careful motions, passed through the years. When the meal was finished, the day's gathering quietly came to an end. Years of use had naturally shaped the surface through countless gatherings. The evening ended with the same familiar care given each day. The room was cleared and prepared for another morning. It was cared for carefully, just as it had always been. A simple routine continued, repeated through many seasons. It returned to its quiet readiness for the next day. Outside, another day slowly moved toward evening. The room became still, carrying the feeling of many familiar days. Another meal would come, bringing another opportunity to gather. Some everyday objects remain quietly present through the years. Some family histories are remembered through photographs and stories. Others are remembered through the objects that shared their daily moments.